Well, hey there, Lego fans. Happy Friday to you. I hope you are having a great week, having a great Friday. And I love Fridays. Not only does that mean we get to look forward to the weekend, which is right around the corner, but we also get to review a set. Today is a full review Friday, and I'm really excited because we got a pretty cool set we're going to review today. First, I do want to say thank you so much for tuning in. Whether you are listening on your favorite podcast platform, I just appreciate that, or that you are catching me on YouTube. If you're more of a visual person, no matter how you're getting this episode, I just want to say thank you for tuning in. It truly means the world to me. So, but with that, let's talk set. If you're tuning into YouTube, you can see the set beside me right now, and this may be one of those few that might be worth seeing just the visual image of this, because today we are talking about set 43222, the updated, the new, remastered, remodeled Disney Castle. Okay, this set, y'all. This set is absurd. It is 4,837 pieces of just pure joy. If you're a Disney fan, you are absolutely losing it when you see or build or get around this set. And I got to tell you, full disclosure, I didn't build this set. My wife, my wonderful, beautiful wife, who, when we started this Lego adventure, I should say when I started this Lego adventure, wasn't really that into Lego, was like, interesting hobby, Steve, but what are we doing here? We've gotten to the point now where this set, she was like, I want it. I want it so bad. This is a gift, like anniversary, Christmas, you name it, whatever it is, I want to get my hands on this set. And so she did. We got her the Disney Castle. And she built it. This is, to date, the largest set she's ever built. It was very exciting. We binged watched some TV over the Thanksgiving holiday, and each night she put together 3 or 4 more bags and just had a great time doing it. So I just thought it would be fun to go ahead and review an incredible set that my wife built. So good job, love. You did amazing. And this set, like I said, it is breathtaking. I will also say, full disclosure, we have the other Disney Castle too, because if you don't know this, I know it's a lot, I get it, hang in there with me, but Lego released a version of this castle way back in 2016, and at the time, again, it was breathtaking. It was over 4,000 pieces. It was 4,080 pieces. Came out in September of 16. Had 7 minifigs, and it was just incredible, right? We're like a 4,000 piece castle. This is great. And then it went ahead and stayed on shelves for like 6 years, right? You thought it would never retire. Lo and behold, it retires in 2022. You're like, okay, well, that's it. No, that wasn't it. Lego decided to redo the whole castle, and this has an entirely different feel to it. The color scheme, the build process, the minifigs, how they actually, it's the same style, if you will, but there are parts of this that are entirely different, down to the buttresses and the pillars of the castle themselves are different. The color is different. Like I say, it's enough of a change where, having already owned one castle, having these next to each other, you're like, oh, they really are different builds entirely. So let me say that this is right up front. This is the superior build. So good news if you missed out on the last castle, which you had 6 years to buy it. But if you missed out on it, it's okay. This castle is here. And we've had rumors that it was supposed to retire at the end of 2024, at the end of this year. But now the latest speculation is we've got that all of 2025 to get it. So this should stay out on shelves for 1 more year. Having said that, though, sometimes things change, right? I mean, Lego retirement dates are notoriously changing all the time. So if you're excited about this set, we get done with this review, you may want to consider adding it to your collection sooner rather than later because, I don't know, it says end of 2025, but to me, you just never know. So anyway, here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to review it on 4 main categories. In the build experience, the playability, the displayability, and the value. And because I didn't build this set, I actually asked my wife to give me those ratings. So at the end of this episode, I'm going to give you her final rating on this set. But first, I want to just give you some basic specs and talk to you about a couple little details and the minifigs that I think are absolutely outstanding. So, like I said, this set came out summer of 2023, so it's been out for about 18 months. It is part of the Disney lineup. It sold for $399, which it's a chunk of change. But I will say, at 4,837 pieces, that rounds to about 8.3 cents per piece. And 8.3 cents per piece on a licensed set in a Keystone set, the set that everybody wants to go after if they're a Disney fan, that's a really, really good price. This set has one more minifigure than the previous castle. This has 8 minifigs, 5 of which are unique to this set, which is really cool. It measures an outstanding 32 inches tall. It is 2 feet wide, and it's a little over a foot deep. So it's a heck of a bear to display. This is one of those things where you are building a dedicated shelf if you want to put this out on full display. And obviously you should, right? But yeah, it was a Lego exclusive. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the minifigs. And again, if you're tuning into YouTube, you can see the minifigs and the castle in front of me. We have 4 couples in this set, which I think is really cute because the original castle focused more on the original Disney characters, your Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald, Daisy, Goofy, and Tinkerbell. I think I added one in there. Maybe Daisy wasn't in there. I can't remember, but Tinkerbell was definitely in there. This, on the other hand, 8 minifigs. You've got Princess Tiana and Prince, oh gosh, what is Tiana's prince's name? That's right, Prince Naveen. It's got Tiana and Naveen. It has Cinderella and Prince Charming. It's got Flynn Rider and Rapunzel, and then it's got Snow White and Prince Florian, which, can I tell you, I always thought it was Prince Philip and Snow White, but apparently it's Prince Florian. So I don't know. I didn't know that. Feel free to leave me a comment in if wherever you're watching this to let me know how dumb I am because you all knew it was Prince Florian. But anyway, of these, you've got Tiana, which appeared before. You have Prince Florian that has appeared before, and I believe the other one was maybe Cinderella. I will look for you real quick. I've got it pulled up in front of me. No, it was Snow White. And you have that Snow White 7 Dwarfs cottage. Both Florian and Snow White were in that set, the Snow White cottage, the idea set. And then Princess Tiana was part of the minifig selection. But other than that, Flynn Rider, Rapunzel, Prince Charming, Cinderella, and Naveen, those are all unique to this set. Unique printing, and they just look really, really good. I do want to give a special shout out to Rapunzel because you've got all of her artist stuff. Like, there is an entire room in this castle, I'm going to turn around and stare at it, where she's got all of her art supplies, because that's how she starts the first 15 minutes of her day, right? So yeah, so not only, I just don't even almost know where to start with this. It's just incredible. The minifig selection, fantastic. Definite upgrade from the last one. I do love 5 unique minifigs. I love, again, it would have been a crime to do it in mini dolls like you see some of the Disney sets, but to do all 4 couples, I think was a really, really good choice. So minifig selection, very, very solid. Like I say, moving on to the castle itself, because I want to get into it because there's just so many things to talk about on this. First off, the color scheme. So many royal bright blues for the roof, intermixed with that pearl gold element. It's a really nice color scheme, and definitely one that it really juxtaposes nicely versus the other castle. And in here, you got the additional surprise. You've got some fireworks going off, because if you've ever been to like Disney World or Disneyland, right? That's one of the big things is there's always a fireworks show. And so you've got the fireworks going off at the top. You've got the flag waving, and then you've got the inside. And y'all, this has so many rooms of awesomeness. I'm going to start my way at the bottom and work my way up. If I missed something, I'm sorry. You're just going to have to build it yourself and find out what you missed. But let me just say, there's a dingle hopper in this. If you don't know what a dingle hopper is, go watch The Little Mermaid. We've got a dingle hopper. We've got some beautiful stickers, big glossy stickers, which couldn't have been printed pieces, but they're like the chrome looking stickers. Really nice touch to make the stained glass windows. The bottom section in the center actually has a little part in the middle where you can put Prince Charming and Cinderella, or any couple for that matter, and it spins so they're dancing. So you got the little chandelier. You got the sword and the stone. Like when you go to Disney, or like, King Arthur, obviously, we all watched that as a kid, right? But when you go to Disney World, outside of the castle by the carousel, they have the sword and the stone. And so that's a nice little Easter egg nugget. As you move up, you got a lot of Beast's castle in here. So you got Mrs. Potts and you got Chip, and there's a little cupboard that they're in, and that cupboard's full of dishes. You've got, I want to say it's Lumiere. I mean, it's a candelabra, but to me, I'm just going to argue that it's Lumiere. But you've definitely got the rose from Beauty and the Beast. You've got the lamp from Aladdin. Like I say, you got all of Rapunzel's art supplies, and you got a nice little sticker piece that shows all the stars out there. And then moving up from there, you got a whole bedroom for Sleeping Beauty. And above that bedroom, hidden away, something that I'm just going to, spoiler alert, I'm just going to put it out there, spoiler alert. If you don't want to know this, cover your ears. If you want to get the general build for yourself and you don't want to have these Easter eggs released to you, but this is a big spoiler. When you build this set, there is a hidden red apple, right? Like the apple that the witch gave to Snow White. Like, you don't see it. It's hidden inside the building, and it's a little nugget, a little Easter egg that you would never see otherwise unless you actually built this set. So I just think that's really cool. And then next to Snow White, if that wasn't all, in the room next to her, you have the spinning wheel with the big old needle sticking out of it. And then after she pricks her hand on the needle, the actual, it's on a little spinning part and it turns. And so then you've got the green fire, right? Like, oh my gosh, it's turned into this evil thing that, sends her to sleep, Sleeping Beauty, right? I keep saying Snow White. I know that's Sleeping Beauty in the show, but she's not a minifig here. So I'm just going to keep referring to Snow White because that's who eats the apple. So again, don't roast me, because there's multiple magic mirrors, multiple apples, and all of those things. But also, since we're talking about that, you've got the magic mirror. The magic mirror is up at the top, if that wasn't all, And so it's just gorgeous. I know I'm talking fast. I apologize if you're listening in and going, why is this guy so excited? But I just tell you, it's whimsical. It's beautiful. And there's just, like I said, so many little Easter eggs that make this a really fun build experience. You got the broom and the mop and buckets from Fantasia, and that's just thrown in there, right? Like, that's not a focal point, just a nice little Easter egg. And then in the build experience itself, on the pillars under the roof, like, you've got the classic gray. It usually came in a lot of Lego space elements in the 1980s, like what you would set out as their guns, right? It was the 1x2 piece that had the little two, I don't know what you call them. They're like the little two sticks pointing off. It looked like I always thought it was like a gun. And they usually put it on a lot of Lego spaceships back in the 80s and 90s. But here, they're using it as a little pillar piece. Like, it's an architectural element in this, right? Because it's the right color. It's not the gray. It's that dark stone gray, like that bluish gray. And so it just looks really, really nice. And you've got all of those little architectural elements. And then, of course, in the front, big old printed piece, you've got the clock. And the clock is 5 minutes to midnight because it could literally be no other time, right? And then beneath the clock, you've got a beautiful couple printed pieces and doors that actually open up. It's one of those, I got to be honest with you. At first, I was like, I don't know. We've already got a Lego castle. Do we really need two? I say as there's other multiple Star Wars things sitting around me. And very clearly, the answer from my wife was yes. We absolutely needed two castles. And now that I've seen it and I saw her build it, she's absolutely right. I mean, fellas, you know the answer, right? She's right. The ladies are right. Because you can't get this any other way. You can't just open up the little roof and look down in the roof and see that there is a camera in there, a little tiny hidden camera, like a classic film camera like you have with the latest Disney set that came out with Walt Disney minifig. That's hidden in there as well. And then you've got the little crown. And there's just, I could go on and on about this set. But again, I would tell you this. It's very much worth it. I'm not giving the rating. My wife is giving the rating, clearly. But you can tell that I'm on board with it. The artwork for the box is great. There comes with 3 manuals too, so that's a nice little bonus. If you want to build this with your significant other or a friend or your kid or kids, you've got 3 manuals. So you can all focus on a different part of the castle and it can come together. So this doesn't just have to be a you build. It could totally be a family build. Or maybe you're my wife and you're like, stay away, I'm going to build this whole darn thing myself. And she did, like I say, a fabulous job doing it. So, all right, with that, like I said, like I always do, give you a final rating. And I usually rate the sets. But again, this time my wife built it, so she's got to be the one to rate it. So I asked her 4 main categories. Dear build experience, what did you think out of 10? And she, like, without pause, it's a 10. Really? You've never built any? Nope. This is a 10. This is the best set I've ever built in my life. It is a 10. So build experience for her, 10 out of 10. Playability. She paused. She's like, oh. I was like, it was whatever. What does your heart tell you? She's like, well, my heart tells me it's a 10. You can totally play with it. There's lots of Easter eggs. There's lots of minifigs. There's lots of little things you can do in here. That they can dance on the dance floor. 10. So again, playability, 10 out of 10. You kind of know where this is going, but then I looked at her, I was like, displayability? And she's like, can I go above 10? It's it's a big set. So 10 out of 10 for displayability. And then value, which is kind of funny to me because I'm just like, it's a $400 set, right? But she's like, are you kidding me? This thing's priceless. 10 out of 10. And honestly, I can't disagree with her on it because, as I said earlier, it's only 8.3 cents per piece. And even though that's, again, not the best metric, it is a pretty good one. And it tells us this is a pretty good value, even though $400 is certainly nothing to sneeze at. So, kind of easy to figure this out at home if you're keeping track. My wife's final score for this overall, ta-da, 10 out of 10. So major applause. The first perfectly reviewed set we've ever had on this podcast, coming from my wife. And I will tell you, I don't think she's far off. I think a build experience for me probably would have been close to a 10. The playability might have been in one area where I would have knocked it maybe a little bit, but you certainly can't argue at displayability. And the value, like I said, is pretty good. So I think she's pretty spot on. So per the norm, again, she's right. So anyway, I really hope you enjoyed this one. This was super fun just to even get the experience to look at it and to soak it in. And just to have this in the collection, I think is definitely a great value. Like I said, we thought it was going to retire back in 2024. We do think it's got another year of shelf life. So probably looking at the end of 2025. But if you love it, I wouldn't wait too long, especially because, there's like over 450 sets or something like that that are retiring this year. And Lego always releases a good 800 to 1,000 sets or more every year. So some of those things can usually end pretty quick. But I will tell you, typically, if a set makes it past December 31st, it tends to stay on shelves for the whole following year. Sometimes you get the summer retirements, but December 31st is definitely the biggest retirement time for a Lego set. So yeah, there you go. What do you think? You let me know in the comments. Do you think my wife got it right? Do you think this is a perfect 10 out of 10 set? Do you think there's something we're missing here? Or, you're just going to go out and get it for yourself. But anyway, as I said, I hope you enjoyed this one. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. I hope your weekend goes great. And I hope you get a chance to go out there here as we get into the crazy busy holiday season and get a chance to maybe stop, smell the roses, and build some Lego. But until Monday, when I'm going to come back at you with a whole lot of news and crazy rumors, I'll just have to catch you on the next one.